You're right, Andy.
Sorry, how the hell are you?
Very good, my man. Very good. Speaking of which, knock knock
Who's there?
on.
On who?
What do you mean on who? The footy's on, mate. Yep.
This is gonna run and run.
Absolutely. Speaking of running and running and knocking, right outside my door right now. I don't know if you can hear in the background. There's this cheesy do 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 do. It's some kind of politics van with a loudspeaker playing 60s music in Japanese. They're trying to convert you to some kind of Mormon party.
First of all, you had me a politics fan. How does one
Mystery
even?
mobile.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they're playing like jaunty, happy music to lure you in to the dark world of politics.
Absolutely.
Or whatever cult it is. That's amazing. Oh my god!
Yes,
Does that happen much? Does that happen much there?
This van travels around once a week because I think there are elections or whatever going on, but I don't have a clue. I'm just like jazzing it up, and then they go by, and then back to the real world.
And like, do you see any ice cream vans also going around, or is it just politics vans?
Unfortunately, it's only the politics vans. I don't think the ice cream vans. I don't really think it's a thing in Japan. There's a mobile
I was going to
ramen
ask.
van, but there's no mobile Mr. Whippy.
Yeah, because that's the. I mean, but the thing is, like, we have. I know we're going off on a tangent straight away, but the thing about ice cream vans in Ireland is like they will travel rain or shine. Like it could be thunderous weather, and you just hear, and a lot of them have the match of the day theme tune. You just hear, and like it's almost sinister when it's there in the rain and there's no one around. It's like, what is that guy doing? Go home. The politics van actually mixes well with the rain better than an ice cream van, but I know what I'd like to spend my money on.
Indeed, yes. And for me, definitely, I'm all about the sugar, baby. Speaking of which, lots of sweet, good stuff in this episode. We've got a lot to recap on and fixtures coming up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually was a bit blindsided by the fact that there's midweek fixtures. I was only yesterday. I was like, because I tend to only look one game ahead because my brain only has that capacity. So I'm like, okay, who will Liverpool play next? Like, oh Jesus, it's Wednesday. So I love a midweek Premier League Tuesday, Wednesday fixture list. They're all evening games. There's always some mad games as well that kind of goes on around that time slot. So yeah. I'm happy with
very
that.
much so, very much so. A lot of people are like fixture congestion and wow, back to back to back, and I'll play it. Screw that. I'm a Liverpool fan. I want to see Liverpool play every single day. I just want
yeah, and like I'm always like on paper I'm like, yeah, they should get a break, but in reality I want as many fixtures as possible in December, and I don't, and it's like, I think I paid enough, it's fine. But
exactly. It's a level playing field. There's no excuses, right? We're tired, but you're tired too. Let's get it on.
Yeah, exactly. We're all tired. It's 6:30 in the morning here. We're all tired.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's gonna be a good round of fixtures. Like Liverpool, obviously the big talking point. A few different things on that match. Obviously that Paquetá red card. Yeah, what do you think? Was it gambling shenanigans, or was he not control his temper?
Do you know what? I'm torn between the two things, because at the time I was just confused. Where it's like, this is mad. Like, what's going on here? Like, he got booked and he's screaming in the ref's face, like he's going to get another yellow. And one thing that I noticed about that was, I mean, it was mental anyway, but the West Ham players didn't seem to be that, like Jared Bowen a little bit. I was like, no, okay, go on. Whereas like Alisson, like his Brazilian teammate, and Van Dijk and stuff were kind of like, no mate, no, but he just kept going. And it was just, I was thinking, okay, I look back and I thought, okay, the first yellow is probably slightly harsh depending on where you stand, because you can't really do that. If you do that, that's a dissent. For some reason, you could keep your arms perfectly still and call the ref whatever you want under the sun, and you'd be like, oh, go on, get out of here. But if you do that, like, ref, you're not having the best game, like, then it's like, oh, yellow card. So maybe he was just annoyed at that, and then because he's like, do you have any idea what this is going to do to my reputation? Since he already had a dubious dealings with, the whole thing was he was there was irregular bets placed previously, allegedly, on him receiving an inordinate amount of yellow cards.
Bookings,
a number of bets sourced from a place called Paquetá Island. So, it's
slightly
questions.
sketchy.
I have questions.
But you know what, right? The whole thing kind of is really, really bizarre because apparently the amount they were betting, he could have funded all that amount in 1 week of his wages. He could have literally just out of pocket give it to them instead of them having to rinse the bookies for it. And then he's on the pitch here. Like, I don't think it was premeditated because of the fact that the first yellow card wasn't intentional, right? He got that accidentally, and then he blew. He must have been like connecting, and the wires are crossing. Oh my god, they're going to frame me. Am I going to be in the news again? Trouble. Like, rescind it.
Yeah. Do you think that's what it was, that he just kind of lost his head and he's like, now I'm getting a yellow card for this after I'm just back from suspension? And he did pick up already. He was already back from suspension from picking up too many yellow cards, which didn't do much for his rep. But then to get this, it was a fairly soft yellow. Yeah, the first one,
bump from the back.
But he really lost his head. I just couldn't get over it. Like, I mean, this. He
came back for more. He came back for a second bite.
Yeah, like, he kind of thought, okay, well, let's make it official. And just kind of, he was proper screaming in the ref's face. But I always wonder with refs that it's like, if a ref was a bit more self-assured, would players, like, because dissent, okay, fine, you want them to be polite enough. Like, rugby players are polite and they're big bastards, but they're super respectful of the ref, and the ref can tell them, no, get out of here, and they'll go. Whereas, like, you don't want anything with football, like, the Arsenal teams of the late 90s just swarming the ref or anything like that. But I feel like the refs, if they had a stronger disposition, they wouldn't be like, oh, he's yelling at me, it's yellow. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it depends on the ref. Some refs would be like, go on, get out of here. No, that's my decision. Whereas, I think it depends if you get a kind of I don't want to say a weak ref, but, a ref who doesn't, like, oh, I don't want anyone yelling at me.
It's odd. It's odd, right? Like, I think it's because of this social stigma that the refs want to be seen to be in a position of power and seen to be making the right calls and so on. Whereas the rugby referees actually don't care if they make a wrong decision. They communicate, we got it wrong. Okay, this is the right play. Carry on. And I think that trickles down to the players who, like, they'll get it right eventually. They don't care if they get it wrong. They're just going to make the right decision. Or they could be like, don't go there, girlfriend. You intimidate me, you're off, sin bin or whatever in rugby. Whereas the kind of football referees are like, I've got this authority. I can't let VAR and technology take over my job. I've got to stand my ground. But then when people swarm, they just back off. There's like pauses in play, delaying the play. You don't know what's going on. And then you hear, good process, mate, good process. Let's send him off. And the kind of cynic in me was like, Paquetá just wants a holiday, wants a bit of a rest away from West Ham. He wants to get out of West Ham. His move to Man City fell through.
Yeah, that's the thing. It fell through on the back of all this stuff happening, wasn't it? Or was it? That was around that time.
That's it. They pulled out of it. Yeah.
And maybe he just. I don't know. Chances are it was just him losing his head, but it was just the. It was. It's just that it's like, because it was like he lost his head because of how it might look or whatever. As a result, made it look so much worse, because it's like, this is the most I'm looking for this red that I've ever seen. I'm sure people will be investigating bets on him getting a red card.
It could be that mentality, right? If first is first and second is loser, like, if you're going to get a yellow, you might as well go the whole hog and get the red.
Yeah, exactly. But it was mad, and it was so unnecessary. Like, it wasn't like they were kind of losing anyway. Like they were playing shy, which is great for us, Liverpool fans.
Back on track.
But so it was a moment of madness, and I'd be interested. And I seen he came out then with, sorry, I'm not perfect.
He had a massive rant at the FA. Why didn't you defend me?
He was still going, and so I don't know. Maybe I should be a bit more nicer about it, but
Saying that,
it was
saying
very.
that though, as a player, I'd still take him a Liverpool quality player, Paquetá.
Yeah, he's class.
He's a
He's
baller, proper
class.
baller,
Just get
Brazilian.
that other thing. Just get that other thing under wraps, and yeah, sure, we'll take it.
Get the mood temperature on top. But in terms of like the fixtures coming up as well, right? Will Slot have the balls, the cojones, to drop Salah 2 weeks in a row, noting that Isak has scored 2 when Salah didn't play? Verts looked incredible, took over, and we were balanced on the right hand side. Will Slot have the balls to do it?
No,
No.
no, he won't. It'll be like cojones, like of biblical proportions to drop him twice in a row, because the whole thing, you can do that for a match where it's like, oh, you dropped Salah. What, did you finally realize that was the right thing to do after all these weeks? And where he's a bit more like, no, there's 4 games in 11 days. Got to rotate. Salah was the one who went today. Next time it'll be something else. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of like, and I like, you know what? I don't mind obviously if Salah play. I just don't want him to mess with Wirtz's position.
Yeah.
Like I think it worked for Liverpool. Now, 2 things worked. One, that West Ham were shite, and also that he kind of catered to Wirtz instead of catering to Salah. You know what I mean? Where he was in his best position, and look at the performance he made. I love him and Isak. Actually, Wirtz, Szoboszlai, Isak combination. Loved all that. So whether he plays Salah or not, I'd be interested to see if he doesn't, because his form is very droppable. Even though he's Mo Salah, but I would be very interested if he did. I just hope that Wirtz stays put. That's all.
Yes,
that's all I want.
It's the balance, the form, and telling the players that when you play well, you're staying in your place, even though it'd be slightly unfair if Ekitike is the one who misses out, considering that he has been the best of the bunch of the new signings. But, if Salah does play, right, there's absolutely minimum requirements in the role that he plays, right? You help Gomez or whoever the fullback is, you lock down that right-hand side. When you get the ball, even if you don't get the ball, you run your ass off. You run into the channels, you make unselfish runs. And when the opportunity presents itself, you pass that ball. You don't look at goal. You shoot if the opportunity is there and it's best for you, and you pass it if it's best for someone else. You play with that kind of mindset, right? And then, okay, whoever's in the role, whether it's Salah or Szoboszlai, whoever, doesn't matter. You fulfill the function for the team, and then I'm happy.
Yeah, exactly. And that was his whole thing that he said at the start of the year, that, okay, I've got the personal accolades last year. I had a mental good season.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
So this year, we won the league, etc. So this year, I'm going to help the younger players. Like, he did say something. I didn't dream that. Like, he did say that.
He did.
But
you would say that. You want to look good in front of the camera, right? And even you might think, screw them lot, F them lot.
Because he doesn't think that. He needs that post goal clarity in order to get, in order to actually start Trivela passing here and there. Otherwise, he's shooting every time. If he gets his goal, then he'll fire off the Trivela passes and these amazing assists. But he has to get his goal first. Like, that's just standard.
Admittedly, I understand that. As a striker in field hockey, right? As a striker in field hockey, I'll be off the shoulder, waiting for the through ball, demanding the ball. If I score, then I'll be pressing the centre back, pressing the 6, running out wide. But until I get that, I'm going to stay in my position, waiting for the opportunity to come. Because the goal, like, you got your goal already. I can sleep easy tonight. Now you do the job for the team. But I still was running hard anyway, right? But yeah,
of course. I would expect nothing less. Sorry,
absolutely. Goal king.
But like, that's the thing. Like, you need to get that goal. Well, I mean, you are obviously an elite-minded player like Salah, who just needs to get that. Who just needs to get that goal first, and then I'll help you. But first, I'm going to get what I need to get, and then I will help you, the rest of you. But so it's funny that he kind of he seems extra selfish this year, even though he said all that at the start. And I guess that's as a result of, like, trying to force it a bit more because it's not really working, and there's a bunch of new players in, and the dynamic has changed and all this sort of stuff. But my question to you would be, how do you feel about Gakpo on the left? Would you move Ekitike there? Would you swap Ekitike with Isak, or have them vying for the middle spot, or what would you do with that left-hand side?
Yeah, so it's ultimately depending on who you set up and who you set up for, right? So keeping in mind, a lot of people have this inner bias that Gakpo is just a cut-in merchant, shoot-in, not game intelligent, whatever. But sometimes you need goal threats on the pitch, right? You absolutely need goal threats on the pitch. But you can't have 2 people who are instinctively from the wing looking to shoot themselves, which is Gakpo and Salah, because then Isak and Ekitike have no service whatsoever. Ekitike can drop like a Bobby Firmino, but only if you have a prime Salah darting in on the diagonal and a prime Mane darting in from diagonal, not a Gakpo who's got one trick and Salah who can't dart in anywhere these days, right? So you can't even connect Ekitike there. So if you play an Isak, one of them have to be a creative, silky supplier, like a Wirtz on the left or Chiesa on the right, for example. You can't be having two cut inside merchants, single track mind, because then what's the point in even spending any money on any centre forward, let alone Isak? What a waste, right? So Gakpo, time and a place, very effective. Got a goal and assist last game because Salah wasn't there. Szoboszlai's a facilitator. Great. You can't play Gakpo and Salah. That's my kind of belief. And I don't think Gakpo is comfortable up front. And I definitely don't think Salah is comfortable up front as well. They are left winger and right winger, one or the other. You choose your creative players in and around them. So that's my kind of take on that.
That makes sense. Just have one or the other. Because, like it is, when you have the two of them, it's so easy to predict. Salah wants to cut in on his left. Gakpo wants to cut in on his right. And I even thought last year, I know kind of Diaz filled that role in the centre for a little bit and worked well at times. But I always felt that centre attacking spot was just like whoever was in it last year, whether it was Nunez, Jota, anyone else, I kind of thought like they're always left a little bit isolated. And you see that with Isak. That was our complaint last week. Is like, he's not getting past the ball. Like, so it does make sense to have it like that. But I have to say, I mean, Gakpo got a goal and assist. And do you know what? Like, even though it's so obvious that he wants to cut in on his right and shoot, I would almost there's very few players, if he had a clear view of goal, that I would actually want ahead of him from that position shooting. He's got an absolutely lethal shot. And how often do you see like it just rifle into the far corner or the far post? So,
Pretty much.
If you could just, it's just a shame that every single one of those shots has been blocked or skied this year. But if you could just figure that little part out and tweak it again.
Exactly. Like there's the Iron Robin kind of thing as well, right? You know what he's going to do. But it's actually very, very hard to stop with those long Gakpo strides, those Cody strides, infield, past one, past two. And then when he gets the opening to hit such a hard shot, he hasn't got the finesse of an Iron Robin or the dribbling skills of an Iron Robin. But in a similar way, you can't stop Gakpo coming inside and trying that shot, whereas you can stop Salah coming inside and taking a shot because he just doesn't have the stride or the pace or the ball carrying ability or the hard shot, right? And there's where lies the conundrum.
Yeah, I was going to say Salah is almost like if you play FIFA or FC 20, whatever it's called now. It's like Salah is, I don't know what your control configuration is. So but it's like for me, it's like Salah is, I'm holding R2 at all times. Long strides, long kicks, long, you know what I mean? Everything is just, if you could just kind of, I don't know. Well, I don't even want to try and dribble anymore. Just play that, because he can play that pass, that sort of, that's how he gets it around players. Like, don't try and carry it yourself. Just, he has an amazing, final pass so I think he should just be using that more if he plays, which he will, obviously.
And that's the thing, right? In order for Salah to get into position, I kind of intimated it on a previous video as well. Salah has to be worked into the position to play make, to assist. He's not the type who can create the opening for the opportunity to make an assist. He has to be played early enough, which is why when the system had Trent feeding Salah in early and Nunez and Diaz and Jota running amok, being the legs in and around him so that his game intelligence can get him into position to hit an early Travella pass, out of side of foot pass, the right-footed pass to run into the box to assist, right? But in the current system where we've got this horrendous slow build-up play, like, go on then, come on, inviting the pressure. The whole team doesn't come and invite the pressure. They just sit there. Salah's so marginalized on a wide area. He can't even get in a position to make the assist. So that's what I'm saying. It's not that he's turning crap overnight. And it's not that he's like, I want to be the main man now, even though Isak and the big names are coming, I'm still the main man. I'm Salah. It's not. It's just that with his current attributes and the way the team are playing, he doesn't even get the opportunity to get into positions where he can make the assist, which is why he just looks, his metrics have gone so downhill. And that's on Slot. So is Slot safe? What I want to ask you is Slot safe if we lose against Sunderland, even though we got the good feelings back against West Ham?
Yeah, I think the win against West Ham, I think if we lost to West Ham and then we lost to Sunderland, I think he'd have been gone. But I think the win against West Ham, if rumors were to be believed, they had talks, and he was told his job is safe for now.
Yeah.
Um,
The dreaded vote
so
of confidence.
I know, and I was like, at least give him to Christmas or the New Year, because I genuinely feared when we lost 4-1 to PSV. I was like 50-50. I'm like, I made a video the next day, and I was like, this is going to be even out of date by the time I publish it, because like I was almost refreshing Twitter, waiting to see if a club statement would come out or something like that. And like weirdly, like I don't know, like because Liverpool, I was like, are Liverpool like trolling? Because they could kind of, they'd wish Xabi Alonso a happy birthday, which they never do, you know. And I was like, And then they had a statement about, you know, the horrible stuff that happened at the parade and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, fair enough. But it was just even the way that it was like club statement and a corner flag. And I was kind of like, I felt like they could have said club statement about last year's horrific incident or something like that. But it was just the way it was kind of put. I was like, everyone thought like, oh, has he been sacked? You know, and then it turned out to be about something else. So I don't know. I don't know if that was just admin, you know, or whatever. Like I don't know, but I think he's safe. I think he's. I think he'd be safe to the end of the year, unless I mean we go on another horrendous run,
losing 3. Yeah, I think it's more so the performances, right? So even in the manner that we lost, we looked lethargic, we looked out of ideas, we looked tactically outclassed by second rate, and they're not second rate because, you know, they're not good, but literally with Liverpool's quality and Arne Slot's quality, you know, the expectations is even if you lose, we lose a close 1-0, not to get battered 3-0 at home, for example. And I think like it's the stubbornness and the unwillingness to change the substitutions that kind of put him in that firing line. So let's say, for example, hypothetically, we lost because Salah, you know, it did start. It's not Salah's fault, but we lost to Sunderland. And then you're looking at Leeds, right? Looking at Leeds for that kind of run of form. The reason why I think it's so touchy at the moment is because it's not as bad a situation as the media and everyone thinks it is. We're only 3 points away from automatic qualification in the Champions League group stages, I think, in the top 8. And in the Premier League, we're 9 points behind Arsenal. But if you really, really want to look at the margins, if we beat Arsenal at Emirates, it's 6 points. If they lose one game in comparison to our one win, it's down to 3 points, which is squeaky bum time. And can Arteta really, really kind of pull it back as well? Arsenal are not looking dominant attacking-wise. They're looking dominant defensive-wise. But Saliba and Gabriel are injured. So the margins, it can be closed if things go away.
Yeah, like we're only 4 points off second, you know, which is insane. And, you know, like I was only saying yesterday, we're 9 points behind Arsenal. I'm not saying anything, but we're 9 points behind Arsenal with 25 games to go. So I'm just saying. Now, we could go on another horrendous run and lose the next 5. And it's like, okay, very much is over now. But, you know, if this could be the start, and I agree with what you said, the worst thing was the results, like heavy defeats, fan morale at an all-time low, and just the same slop. You know, it was just the same every single week, same formation, same mistakes, same, you know. So at least this, even if Liverpool didn't win against West Ham, the fact, okay, he's addressed that right-hand side. He's, you know, changed up the formation a little bit. He's trying something different. Like that was all we were crying out for. It was so weird that he wasn't changing anything, you know.
And his words, as well. Did you hear his words? Like he said something along the lines of, even if I lose one, I don't remember like last year, 9 months ago, that I lost that one match and I changed something. I don't learn from those occasions. I wouldn't change things because there's no time to change things because we're in the middle of the season. I was like, that's so bizarre. So bizarre to say.
What if it's not working though? Clearly you change it. Like, I mean, it's clearly not it clearly wasn't working. And I know like that policy worked very well for him last year. It's like, I'm not going to change too much. You know, like it was an evolution on Klopp's team, and that worked very well. And one thing I don't really agree with is the kind of revisionist history of, well, did he? I mean, he won the league with Klopp's team. You know, he didn't do it. It's like he did a lot with that. He kept them fit, kept them happy, changed Gravenberch's role, and just, you know, just finely tweaked. We were very professional. It wasn't mad games. It was 1-0, 2-0, that sort of stuff.
Controlling.
So, yeah. So, like, I was chatting with a mate, and he was like, he was comparing Slot to Amram, and Amram's never lost 4 in a row. And I was like, yeah, but Amram's never won a league title as well.
He never won 2 in a row until Anfield. He never won 2 in a row until Anfield this season. So
yeah, you know. So yeah, I think he's fine. What do you think? Do you think he'd be all right for the season?
Yeah, Liverpool aren't a reactionary club. They always
No.
plan for the long term, and even with fan sentiment and all this, they'll give him a chance. He's a Premier League winning manager. He was the chosen one. His philosophies and coaching style doesn't change. But interestingly enough, right? And obviously this is the foot he's on. We talk about all clubs here. So Newcastle, having problems away from home, even with their all-powerful, all-conquering midfield and Walter Messi, Walter Madder, destroying things up there. And then you look at Tottenham with, Thomas Frank coming in and Daniel Levy finally being ousted as well. And them having their Spursy moments and, their really questionable strategy. And, it's gone from one end of the spectrum, Ange Postecoglou's attacking suicidal high-line football, to kind of conservative Frank, get it out wide and just whip it in and see what happens. All these teams, right? Yeah. All these teams that you expect to be like challenging, trying to break in the top 4, they're all floundering. There's no consistency. Some people are scared of Manchester City, but where is their De Bruyne, Yaya Toure, Aguero, David Silva? They don't. They have Haaland or nothing, right? So everyone except defensive, concrete, iron war, mad luxury Stoke Arsenal, everyone's floppy this season.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like Arsenal are, they're playing well. I wouldn't say they're, they've been heralded as like the best team in Europe lately, which, I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough about how Madrid and Barca and Bayern are doing. But I mean, I would imagine that they're slightly better. But I think Arsenal are just there because they've been just solid.
Yeah.
Like there's not so many teams this year just don't seem solid, or they're going through. It seems like every team is going through a bit of a transition. You know what I mean? And it's a weird one. It's not like, I don't know, barring Arsenal, I don't know what other team in the league is like settled. You know what I mean? Maybe arguably Chelsea, which is funny, considering they have about 1 million players on 1 million-year contracts. So yeah, it's a weird one. Like, and so it was weird to see Chelsea and Arsenal. Actually, it was nice to see Chelsea and Arsenal get a draw and to not have it be just another Arsenal win, set piece. Yeah, because Chelsea, I mean, they're still hanging about there. They're second, and weirdly doing quite consistently well.
The fruits of their labor, that investment, right? And that big money spending of Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez gives them that fulcrum in their midfield to really take the game to. They have some star quality in Esteval Williams and Cole Palmer. They have some wild cards like João Pedro. If they need a battering ram, right? Old school, they got Liam Delap. They've got endless kind of tricky wingers. Pedro Neto can get a goal out of nothing. Garnacho, I don't think he's good at all. But, Garnacho, Gittins, one of them, get a 1 out of 10 wonder goal every now or do something magical, right? They've just got so many options, except in defense. Their defense and goalkeeper, a bit shocking. But then
that's the problem, yeah.
I've always said Reece James is total quality. And even in his prime years, right? Even though I got the Trent Alexander-Arnold shirt, I would take Reece James 100 times out of 100 because he's so good at everything. He's got no weakness except injuries.
That's the thing. I was like, I mean, like Trent would have some stats that are like way up here and then other stats that are way down here. Whereas exactly. Reece James is maybe not quite the highs of Trent in terms of like his ultimate like passing, obviously, and things like that. But he was always like a solid, like, 7 or 8. Yeah, exactly. But I was only reminded when you were talking there about Garnacho. I mean, why did Chelsea sign him? Like, why? What are you seeing in him? Where you're like, we have to have him. Like, what?
Young.
Like, how do you fail upwards this many times?
It's the Chelsea model, right? Hope he comes. Fingers crossed. I mean, one of them, Gittins, Garnacho. One of you.
Surely, if we throw enough mud at the wall, some of it will stick. I don't get that one. But,
and some of it gets shifted out to the bomb squad, like Axel Disasi and Raheem Sterling and whoever else.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, like, I mean, they've hired. That's the thing, because like Chelsea, maybe they've just thought, okay, our transfer policy is, we sign 2 good players out of every 5.
Yeah.
So we'll just sign 20 players, and then we'll have 8 good. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if we just get enough. our ratio will level out and we'll get some good players in, and then we'll ship the rest off to wherever.
Make a profit, and sell some hotels on the side, and then whatever dodgy dealings.
They're real business. Yeah,
I tell you what is kind of dodgy though. I wouldn't envy it. You know, Daniel Farker, right? The Austrian or German? I think he's one of the two at Leeds. The Leeds manager.
Yeah,
he's got apparently 2 games to save his job, and his 2 fixtures against Chelsea, followed by against Liverpool.
Brilliant. I feel like Liverpool are last game before a manager loses his job.
Yeah, we've done that, haven't
team. I feel like we do that a lot. Whereas, like, you know, after the latest loss to Liverpool has parted ways with insert blank here.
Yeah,
it's a tough one, but yeah, I think he might be
in danger.
It might be just a matter of time for him. Yeah, it's a shame. But I mean, he's good. Like, I mean, I do like Leeds in general as a team. You know, in as much in a sort of a, you know, afterthought sort of way. But I always kind of liked them, like, historically. You know what I mean? When I was growing up, Leeds were always kind of, you know, I'd always have a little extra eye on Leeds and stuff like that. Yeah, but yeah, he might be. Has there been a sacking so far this year
in the Premier League? I don't know. The Wolves managers surely got to be in danger. They are sinking without a hope at the moment. The house has. They're not. And or
of course,
you know Spirito Santo as well.
Yeah, okay, yeah, a bunch actually.
Yeah.
Huge, high-profile sackings and signings, of course. Yeah. I mean, the Ange one was just like, if there was ever a match made in hell, it's Ange to Forest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With that owner, with that personality clash. I was just waiting. I was almost disappointed when he got sacked so soon, because I was like, I didn't get a chance to see the fireworks, the public, you know, back and forth between Ange and Marinakis, where, you know, there's been a very high-profile falling out, and they take little shots at each other in the press. I was waiting for that stage to come, but it never did.
Exactly. And I would have loved Liverpool to play them under Ange Ball as well. It would have been good for us.
Yeah. Maybe we would have actually beaten Forest for the first time in 5 years.
And speaking of, like, those kind of shock results as well, is it just me, right? I used to think the lower league teams really had that one standout player, that one game winner that just out of nothing gets it for you. Like Wolves had Diogo Jota, had Adama Traore, had Raul Jimenez, right? Got, like, back in the day, maybe JJ Okocha doing things for Bolton, out of nowhere, just grabbing a goal. Wilf Zaha, you know, Crystal Palace defending, and then Zaha scores a goal. It's 1-0 to Palace. You know, is it just me, or do you get those one mercurial talents? I know you have Semenyo, right? Semenyo, okay, that's fair enough. That's one, but they're being picked up now. They don't stay at those clubs. Like Eze's been ripped from Palace into Arsenal. There's not so many.
I'm trying to look and see who's Brentford. Do they have anyone? Not really.
Damsgaard's okay. He's all right.
Yeah. Forest, maybe, like Gibbs White or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, it's more tidy. I'd say he's more tidy than your, like, usual game winner. Whereas, like, Kaoru Matoma against any top team, he could on his day just score against anybody.
But he looked absolute quality. Was it last year or the season before, even, where you're like, oh my god, like, this guy, get him. And he's kind of gone a bit inconsistent now since then. But Brighton always seem to, like, turn up these, like, wonder kids. Yeah, you know, where it's just like, I mean, I'm sure, like, they've made a ton of money based off their whole policy. But yeah, I'm struggling to think, to be honest, of who's the big. Semenyo would probably be the big one, wouldn't he? Like,
you'd imagine so. He's the one, and he's got a release clause, obviously. So there's room to kind of poach him from in that regard. Aston Villa, you know, they're not really a small team, but you look at Morgan Rogers, he's, you know, rampaging through.
Yeah, he's good
through the top of the diamond.
Yeah, he's very good. There's one thing. Can I tell you about one thing that I saw? It wasn't exactly in the Premier League. So, as you know, local national hero in Ireland, Troy Parrott, after his heroics of scoring 5 goals in 2 games for Ireland to see us to the playoffs. He scored then for AZ Alkmaar like a week later, and I was like, no, it was a goal in a 3-1 loss, but still he scored. And then I seen he had a penalty this weekend, and it was an injury time if to like level it up, I think, against FC 20, and he went for the Panenka.
Oh no!
And it just went right over the bar, and it was the ultimate, like all the other, like he puts his face in his shirt, and all the other and all the opposition are coming along pushing him like, you mug. So, and I was like, that is the most Irish, like he got too big for his boots sort of moment, back down to earth. Yeah, he lost the run of himself there now. Because it was the ultimate, like, well, he must be walking on air with all of the nation in love with him, and then he scores for his club, and like thinking like, okay, I am the man. And then I don't know, I couldn't help but laugh. I just thought it was so like, it's quite he's just overreached a little bit for that.
It's quite funny. Like Tottenham had no faith in him whatsoever, not even a loan, and getting back. They literally said, "No, we don't have faith in you. Off you go, selling you to Azad Alkmaar." And it's in single-digit millions, right? He does good things for Ireland, but then again, it was an opportunistic run into the box to prod it into the goal to bring them to the World Cup, and then back down to earth. And we even got innocuously linked in the media, and some people in the comments were like, "I would look at Troy Parrott, right? I'd look at him for Liverpool." I thought, what, ahead of Isaac or Ekitike?
I'd like him in there for the Irish connection, but I certainly wouldn't be starting him unless it's like a League Cup sort of one of those.
You got the bench, right? Ekitike is on the bench next to Troy Parrott. Which one you bring on?
Exactly, but it got me thinking of those sort of. I think there's few things I love in football more than a failed Panenka penalty.
Oh yeah.
And I'm looking at Adamala Luckman is the one that sticks out for me. Remember, he had one that was like to win it in the 90th minute, and it was the tamest little. The keeper just scooped it up and threw it back out, and it was like, oh my god, I don't know. There's a sadistic part of me that just loves failed Panenkas, and any time players try it and it goes over, or even better, the keeper just stands there, it's like, and then chucks it out. It's one of my. I just love it.
Failed penalties in this one. I know what you mean about.
I love it.
It's amazing, right? Like I remember, was it Perez and Henry where they tried to roll it or something, and it just completely balls up, and then
he rolls it over his foot. And to be fair, I liked the fact that after that in the interview when they asked Henry like what happened there, and he was like, and then just like burst out laughing. I was like, well, good. At least you want that to be the reaction, But failed penalty. I don't know why.
What's that international one where Suarez, to save Uruguay or something, right? Handball that, like diving save, gets the red card. There's a penalty. Marcel Desailly in the studio was like, "Oh, we got this, yes, boy!" And then I can't remember who it is, like Asamoah Gyan or something, smashes it over the bar with power, and then Suarez is like, "Yeah," on the sideline. And
I know.
Why you hit with power?
The ultimate shithouse move from Suarez. You'd expect nothing less.
I know.
He's still getting up to all sorts. Where like in the MLS, where he was like spitting on someone. And I mean, this guy's just an animal. Like what? Yes. Yeah. Like what is to be banned 3 separate occasions for biting someone? Like I can't get my head around this guy. I mean, absolute quality, one of the best players technically that we've ever had, and he was like genuinely one of the most talented players to ever put on a Liverpool shirt.
For me, number one. For me, he's number one.
Yeah,
top of the crop.
It's just the only shame with him is just that he didn't stay for longer. But I mean, he was unbelievable. But yeah, just a mad side to him,
Really, really much so. Like I think there's certain people that come into the Premier League and then they don't hit it off straight away, and then you get absolutely ridiculous commentary like, "Oh my God, Nikita Jelavic at Everton. I wish we bought him instead of Luis Suarez." And you could just see, right, when you got Andy Carroll and Luis Suarez in, one of them is not like the other. One of them is guaranteed to come good. He absolutely lights up, blasts people away. And then you're like, oh, what could have been if he stayed in the Premier League? They just move. Like Julian Alvarez at Man City, obviously he's behind Haaland, right? He can't really light up. But then he goes to Atletico Madrid and then they're like, he's the dream striker for Liverpool. They don't stay too long.
No, they don't. But Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think do you know what? I kind of think now with the players that we have in the team, like, and again, I'm sorry, I bring it back to Liverpool all the time, but like, I'm kind of where, like, if we get to January and there's someone that we can buy, like, would you buy again in January, or do you think that should be kind of it for
I
a
think
while?
Liverpool have to buy in January because two reasons. The Giovanni Leone injury absolutely put curtail to any centre back depth we have. And it's on Arne Slot that he's not even playing Gomez or Endo regularly enough that you could probably bring them out of the blue for a 3, 4, 5 game stretch. If Van Dijk or Konate get injured, and with Gomez's injury record, you're a little bit stuffed in terms of actual centre backs. Endo's great centre back. He's played more centre back games than defensive midfield, even though most Liverpool fans wouldn't know that, right?
Wow.
So he's reliable
I
there.
didn't know
He does the job there. Gravenberch is favoured there, even though some people hate Gravenberch in their centre back role. But I think we've got to bring in defensive reinforcements there. But also, I do think we're lacking the winger, the penetration from the outside. Now, Frimpong can do it on the right hand side, but I can't see Slot dropping Salah for Frimpong. He might do it for Soboslai. He might do it for Ekitike, but I can't visualize Slot having the cojones to drop Salah for Frimpong or Chiesa or of that like. But if you bring in Semenyo, that's Slot's own man that he's brought in under his own volatility. He would play him. You don't buy Semenyo to have him as a substitute player. You buy him to play him, and Salah's at the AFCON. So I think a centre back and a winger that could play either side would be really smart, even though we did spend a lot in the summer. But our financial outlay, our net spend is much less than Arsenal. People don't realise in the summer, our net spend is dramatically below Arsenal this season.
But do you think so? We're essentially talking about Mark Gahey and Antoine Semenyo, specifically. But do you think it would stop him from doing it? I mean, he wouldn't care. But I mean, maybe the fact that it's like we've been so publicized of spending so much money that's like they're going to spend more money in January and get these, spend another 100 mil, or would it even be if Mark Gahey's contract is nearly up? I don't know, but for the two of them, you know what I mean? I just wonder, would they say, no, we can't possibly spend anymore?
I think they're pragmatic and they are logical. They supply you with what you need if you have the funds to do it. Because the flip side is right, is the opportunity cost here. If you buy them in January, you don't need to buy them in the summer. What does it mean? They've got a half a season to settle in with or without this particular manager. They're going to help this particular campaign. And if you budgeted for them for next summer, well, why not just bring them in January and not spend that money in the summer? So
yeah, true. Yeah, very true.
Yes, so that's what I feel. And the opportunity cost for, if these are the players, these are the chosen ones, maybe your only opportunity is in January, because Gueye can go to anywhere for free in the summer.
Yeah.
And Liverpool may be the only one positioned to get him, and they agreed a deal previously, and he was sold on the idea of coming to Liverpool. And similar to Semenyo, he's got a release clause. If you don't trigger it, someone else like Man City will, and then that player you identified as being perfect is gone. So it's almost if they are the chosen ones, you can't afford not to do it. Otherwise, back to the drawing board. Who else you bring in as a plan B, and are they good enough? So,
yeah, true. Well, you've made a pretty rock solid case as far as I'm concerned. Sign him, Big Arne. Look. Should we look ahead? Do you think at some of the fixtures that are coming up in the next day or two?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, if we just go down the fixture list, right? We've got this next round, which is today and tomorrow. Dodgy times for me. It's 4:30 a.m. kickoffs. I'm going to be waking up for a toilet break for that. But Bournemouth against Everton, what do you reckon happens in that game?
Bournemouth against Everton. I think a Bournemouth win, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think Bournemouth. I'd say I can't see Everton. And like Grealish obviously is playing well for them, but I feel like he plays best at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. I'd go Bournemouth on that one. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Bournemouth will squeak it, but I don't think it'll be the highest scoring game. I'll probably go over 1-0 for Bournemouth as well, even though Everton do have, like, Iliman Ndiaye got linked to Liverpool and other players. He's not good enough. He's okay. He's inconsistent. But Everton they're hot and cold with a defensive record. So 1-0 to Bournemouth. Let's take that.
1-0 Bournemouth. And actually, sorry, before we continue, how did we get on with our predictions last time? So we said that the upset of the weekend might be United beating Palace.
Yeah, and it happened.
That happened.
Yeah, that was kind of
All
team.
right, so 1 for 1 there. What else did we say? Did we say draw for Chelsea Arsenal?
Yeah, I went with a
Or
draw.
you did?
I think you went with, yeah.
So me by default then, if you said it, I also said it. So yeah. Chelsea Arsenal draw. So we'll nip that in the bud. Yeah.
Liverpool win, Villa win. I think we both went for.
Yeah, we did think Brentford Burnley would be a bore fest, but that was a 3-1.
Yeah,
and we thought there'd be a red card in Everton Newcastle, which I don't think there was.
No, they weren't physical enough. They were a little bit physical. Newcastle away, they Blues have gone away.
That's why Everton lost, because they weren't in red card mindset. You know,
they
let them walk all over them. Okay, so back to this current round of
City away at Fulham.
I was just going to say, I think City might struggle a little bit away to Fulham, because it's one of those mad like midweek December away at Fulham. You know, in the evening. I don't know why, but I feel like the time of year and the time of day and the time of the week all play into these little mini factors. When
they're only warm weather. They only perform in warm weather.
Yeah, they're a warm weather team, and that could be. I would possibly go for that as the upset of the weekend, even a 1-1 draw or something like that.
Draw.
I could easily see that being a 1-1 draw.
You going Fulham then? You going Fulham or 1-1 draw?
I'm going 1-1 draw.
Yes, I think, unfortunately, they have enough quality to just squeak it, like against Leeds with Foden squeaking it and the dark arts coming into play with Donnarumma on the floor. I feel they might... I would love a draw, and I could see it being a draw, but I feel City might sneak it because Haaland's a machine. So I think City would just about sneak it. But the other one would be very interesting. Newcastle and Spurs, right? Both very inconsistent, both want to be top 4 teams. Who gets it between Newcastle and Spurs?
I have to go Newcastle again. It's at St. James's. It's a bit of a cauldron, and Voltamade is on fire as well. And Spurs are started well. Then they've not been good as of late. So I think Newcastle on that one.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with a draw in this one because Thomas Frank is under pressure, but he knows how to set up a good defense as well. And Newcastle, with the fans behind them, if they get frustrated, if they're held for a while, I can see panic stations, right? Because they're expected to win this one, and Spurs on any occasion just turn up and put in a performance. I will take a draw in Spurs against Newcastle. I'd also love a draw in the next one, but I don't know about this. Arsenal against Brentford. Arsenal at home.
I mean, I would love it so much, but I think Brentford are capable, you know.
The bees.
With Big Queeve in goal, you've always got a chance. And
Henderson.
and Henderson, who's actually playing class for them. I'm so happy that I keep seeing him like with these amazing, like all the way across the pitch passes and, you know, assisting and all this. So I'm actually delighted to see Henderson and Big Queeve together again. So
Sepp Vandenberg,
and to a lesser extent Vandenberg. But I think Arsenal will probably win. It'll be like a 1-0 or something like that. But I don't see Arsenal winning like 2-3-0 anything like that. I'd say 1-0 Arsenal.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tight one. I'd love Brentford to score first. It would do really, really good things. I don't know if Saliba is back for Arsenal as well, but probably Arsenal have too much for Brentford. I could see it probably being like a 1 or 2-0, probably 2-0 to Arsenal. But then we get to Brighton versus Aston Villa, where anything could happen. Yeah,
that could be. I mean, that has 3-3 written all over it in my mind. Like just some mental score. So. Yeah, it could be 3-0 Brighton, 3-0 Villa. It could be anything.
Yes.
I'm going to go with a high scoring draw. Let's say 2-2 or 3-3. I'm going to go crazy on that one.
Sounds good. I think good evening himself, Mr. Unai Emery, will find the holes to pluck Brighton here. It'll be a snatch and grab. I think 2-1 Villa, because you know Villa could lose out of nowhere. They could be absolutely spanked by Brighton.
Yeah.
But Unai Emery is a really good operator, and he does get things right eventually. So I'll go for a Villa away win.
Trust him.
Burnley against Crystal Palace. I don't see anyone driving up any interest anytime Burnley is involved in any match.
I think they just have like. Is it just the name Burnley that's just like the unsexiest Like, you
We're
know,
Burnley.
yeah, do you know what I mean? I mean, they get dolled up as much as they want, but I think they, yeah, I don't know. I think I could see them. I could see that being a 0-0, to be honest, or maybe a 1-0 Palace,
You
or
always
something
want
like that.
with Burnley, you just want to go 0-0. Anyone that's not a big,
I
big
just
win.
feel like it's, yeah, I feel like that's the right thing to do, you know? 1-0 Palace on that one.
1-0 Palace. I'm going for a boring drab draw. It could be 0-0 or 1-1, but I mean Palace could spank them again. But once again, Burnley at home, they got fans behind them, so I'll go with a draw with that one. And then we got
Yeah.
Forest against Wolves. Another could go either way, really. Depends who turns up.
Yeah, I don't think Wolves really have it in them, so I'd say Forest. Yeah.
But there has to be a time where Wolves suddenly get a result. They have to suddenly get a result. But probably, because apparently all the goals of the month got spanked in against Wolves last month or something as well. So they're just unlucky to get
Really?
absolutely walloped.
A conceder of great goals.
Concede of great goals and many goals, which is why great goals get scored as well. But yeah, let's just probably. I'm going to say draw. I'm going to say Wolves dig it out and get a draw. Yes, Chelsea away at Leeds.
I'd say Chelsea. Leeds are not doing well. Chelsea are. Chelsea have enough firepower, enough on the bench. I would say I could see that being a 2-0 Chelsea.
Yeah. Cole Palmer's back. Cole Palmer's back as well. And I think Chelsea, I want Chelsea to do well to keep Arsenal honest and on their toes as well. I think Chelsea would probably win that. And then we come to our boys, Liverpool at home at Anfield against Sunderland.
I think, look, normally under any circumstances, if we're playing at Anfield at like an 8 p.m. kickoff, I'm like, I back us to beat anyone at Anfield at 8 p.m. when it's dark. Don't know why.
Yeah.
But I still think, I mean, look, Sunderland have the gall to be ahead of us in the league. So
yes.
I think we'll want to put that right. I could see this being 2-1 Liverpool. I don't see us keeping a clean sheet, unfortunately. But I see it having enough to beat Sunderland. So yeah, I'd say 2-1.
Yeah. I mean, it would be so interesting. If we played the same lineup as last game, I would say convincing victory.
Yes.
If we don't, and people probably seeing where I'm going with this, but I don't mind if Salah comes in. If the system is built for Salah to thrive, so we're 11 against 11. If he's trying to fit square kind of players in round holes, Isaac, Salah, Gakpo, for example, it could be a struggle. We might have to leave it till late. But I still think Liverpool will get enough to win. So yeah, Liverpool win convincingly. And then the match, it's a Friday for me, but it's a Thursday for everyone else. Man United against West Ham. United at home.
I think United will probably win it. West Ham are not great. United are also not great. I'd say that'd be a draw as well. To be honest, I could see 1-1 on that one.
Yeah. Jared Bowen. Goal.
Yeah, Bowen, of course, will get West Ham's goal, but yeah, I see 1-1 on that one.
I would like a draw. I'd love a Man United loss, especially for everyone losing their rag. You know, they flip-flop so much between Amarin's getting it right, Amarin's better than Amarin out. We don't need Amarin. What is this fullback?
I know. And it's the constant, one thing I hear from a lot of United fans online is, we're ahead of Liverpool in the league. Yeah. It's like, hey, did you know we're ahead of Liverpool in the league? It's like, whereas are you like, I would have to look and be like, are you? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's fair play. They beat us. They're ahead of us. They overjumped us. I think, unfortunately, Man United squeak it out because they're not terrible. They just look terrible on occasion. But all things like in balance, they got decent players, enough to win. This Xerxes coming up a little bit good for them. Bruno Fernandes is a consistent. He's a mug, but he's a consistent good player. In Mbeumo,
he is a mug.
He's a proper mug, and he's not.
He's the muggiest mug in the Premier League.
Yeah, but speaking of mugs, so I think Man United will squeak it out. But speaking of mugs, we've got a nice show midweek coming up, right? I don't know if you want to give him any spoilers.
Let's just say that it's to do with the seedy side of players' bizarre personal lives. I feel like I've already said too much. I'm going to leave it there.
Exactly. We'll leave it at. We'll whet people's appetite. But no, Andy, my man, that was absolute quality. Final words for this round of fixtures. What you got to say, my man?
A pleasure as always. And let's just get one more win. Just one more win. And then 24 more wins. And then I'll be happy.
Yes, retain the league. Championes Ichiban. I love it. Good stuff. Until next time, everyone. Ciao. Have a good one.
Cheers, guys.